What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Zero Lab. Today we're taking a look at another really fun Pokemon TCG Pocket deck. This is sort of like a fighting box deck, mostly centered around Gallade EX, that fighting type Gallade EX. And the reason for this is Arceus is very, very strong in the TCG Pocket meta right now. So fighting types to counter Arceus are going to be very, very good. So taking a look at the deck list here, we have a 2/2/2 Gallade EX line, one Hitmonlee. Hitting that bench damage is really good. Then we have this new Sudowoodo with the fighting headbutt attack for one fighting. Does 20 plus 30 more damage if your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX. So 50 for one energy is a pretty good attack to start the game with if we're going up against an EX deck. Then we have a 2x speeds, 2 Pokeballs, 1 Pokecom, 2 Research, a Sabrina, 2 Cyrus, and a Mars. So the Mars is a little questionable, but I was just trying to think of other things to put in here. Mars seems good. Maybe we could play some potions or something like that. Or more Pokemon as well if you're interested in other Pokemon here, like maybe a Marshadow. So the Mars is probably the most cuttable card in here, but interesting enough to disrupt our opponents at the end of the game, though. If we think they have like a large hand and they could go for a Cyrus play or something like that. So we're going to go into some ladder games here with this Fighting Box deck and see how we can do. But I do think that this deck is pretty cool, and I know a lot of people are looking for ways to counter Arceus right now. While we're loading up this game, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We are working pretty hard to grow this channel, and liking, commenting, subscribing, all that really helps us grow the channel, and we really appreciate it. We'll start the battle here. We started a Sudowoodo. Looks like we're going up against a fighting deck. It's probably going to be some style of Garchomp EX. Maybe they play the non-EX Garchomp in here as well, but looks to be sort of a fighting mirror. We have a pretty good starting hand. Happy to start the Sudowoodo. Just a good starting attacker. Obviously, we're not going up against an EX, so we're not going to get that extra damage output. But still happy to have the Sudowoodo nonetheless. Hoping to find a Ralts here off of that Pokeball. And we do. We have the full line in hand now. Research now going to draw 2. Another Gallade and a Cyrus. So we're going to bench this Ralts, and we're just going to start with the Fighting Headbutt on the Sudowoodo. Having the whole Gallade line already in hand is great. Obviously, one of the tough things sometimes in TCG Pocket is finding those evolutions at the right time. Potion from our opponent there. They're going to do 30 here with this Gabite. But no other benched Pokemon for them right now. We're going to get the evolution up into this Kirlia, attach for turn, and then Fighting Headbutt here on the Gabite. Going to do another 20. Our Gallade is going to be hitting pretty hard once they get this fully powered up. If it is going to be a Garchomp EX, they need 3 energy to do their main attack. We'll see what they've been able to search for here. They played double Research. They've got some Riolus coming down. All right, so they got the Lucario line in here to be doing extra damage. There's the Garchomp EX. And we should just see the knockout here on our Sudowoodo with that linear attack. All right, so hoping to draw in some more basics on our side, but we're in a good position. Our Gallade is going to be hitting for 110 here. There's another Ralts. That's nice. Attach for turn onto the Kirlia. Evolve up into the Gallade. And then Energized Blade will do 110. We should be in a good spot. So it depends on what basic Pokemon they get down this turn, or what other basic Pokemon they have in their deck. They're going to be doing 100 to us here. They could be doing more if they get the Lucarios out. If they don't get the Lucarios out, I think we just win. But if they do get the Lucarios out, let's say they could hit us for 140. And then they would be able to like knock us out with a Hitmonchan or something. but no Lucario's out, so I think we're going to be all right. Pokeball here, going to find us probably a Sudowoodo or Hitmonlee. We'll bench the Hitmonlee. We're going to attach to the Ralts. And then Energize Blade for the knockout. Now it's kind of up to what they find. They could still knock us out with like a double Lucario, Hitmonchan, something like that. But seems unlikely with a 4-card hand. And there's the concession. All right, so game 1, win for the Gallade EX deck. And we're going to head into a game 2. Heading into a game 2 here. Found our opponent. All right, heads means we are going first. Looks like this could be a Dialga deck, so happy to start the Sudowoodo here. That's going to be a very good beginning attacker into a Dialga deck. They did start the Meltan, so they will get the mass attack off. Just going to start with a Pokeball. This will find us a Ralts, I think, guaranteed. Then I'm not sure what I want to bench. I think I will bench the second Sudowoodo. I'm not sure if I need the Hitmonlee yet, so we're just going to hold on to that. That could be like Pokecom fodder, potentially. Here comes the Amass from the Meltan. All right, and we're just going to start attacking with the Sudowoodo here. Not much else to do. Would be nice to find a Curlia next turn. Got the potion. This could just be like, I mean, I imagine they play Dialga, but this could be just some sort of Melmetal deck, just Soul Melmetal. It's interesting that they haven't like attacked with anything yet, or like benched anything else yet. So we're just going to go in with the Fighting Headbutt. Hope they don't have the Melmetal in hand, because otherwise I think we're in trouble. Obviously our Gallade's going to be doing a lot of damage to them, but we need to evolve into Curlia for sure next turn. There's the Dialga. UEX coming down. Yeah, we're in trouble if we're not finding our Curlia next turn. That's for sure. We just lose. So we're going to throw up the Sudowoodo. All right, there's the Curlia. So I think we're going to be all right. I'm going to put up the Hitmonlee as well. Attached to the Sudowoodo. Even though it doesn't really matter, does it? Unfortunately. But we have the Gallade next turn. This is part of the reason we attached to the Sudowoodo was in case of a Sabrina, because then we can X-Speed out of the Sudowoodo if needed. Or X-Speed out of the Hitmonlee if needed. Like, it's just good to have that extra energy on the Sudowoodo. Alright, so they got 4 energy on there. That means we're doing 70 plus 80 is 150, minus 20 is 130. So we're just doing enough damage to knock out this Melmetal. I think I'm going to hold on to the Mars for now. We are weak to Psychic. So, that Mew EX is a bit of a concern. There's a research. Imagine we're going to see attach return on the Mew. And then the Metallic Turbo can fully power up that Mew. Another Meltan coming down. I'm not sure what they're waiting on. They're in a very good spot. Attach return onto the Dialga. If they don't Metallic Turbo onto the Mew, we just probably win. But they definitely are. Yeah, I was going to say. Would it be crazy if they didn't? Mew can do 70, 110 to us. So we actually could be... We could be potentially okay. I think I will Mars them here, though. Because we have the Cyrus to target down this Dialga again. I don't think the Mew's knocking us out. They're doing 70 plus 40 is 110, 130 with weakness. So we might have just barely gotten there. We will see. There's a retreat into the other Dialga EX. We should just have Cyrus for game. There's the research, so we know we're not getting Marsed. I suppose they could play red card, but I doubt that they do. There's the Melmetal. Attach for turn, Metallic Turbo. All right, we just barely got a win here with the Cyrus. And Energized Blade for knockout. All right, so 2-0 with the Gallade EX deck. We're going to jump into a game 3. See if we can't keep the streak alive. But this deck does seem pretty good, and we haven't even hit an Arceus deck yet, which is really a large appeal of the fighting type decks right now. You just two-shot an Arceus with Sudowoodo, which is crazy because it does 50 plus 20 more with the weakness. So a very strong card. It's funny that they printed that in the same set as the Arceus. They're like, we need, you know, something good to hit into the Arceus, and the Sudowoodo definitely is a pretty good counter to the Arceus decks, just in and of itself. Not to mention the fact that Gallade X is pretty good as well. All right, heads means we're going first this game. Looks like a water deck. All we have is the Hitmonlee. Got Pokeball in hand to go find a basic. Think we might cut the Mars later, but we'll see. A Blastoise deck. Alright, double Pokeball to start is great. If we can find a one Ralts here, that would be awesome. There it is. We've got the Curly in hand, a Pokeball. Second Pokeball, finding a Sudowoodo would be nice. Found a second Ralts, that's also alright. We're just going to end our turn here. We've got the Hitmonlee to two-shot the Eevee. Obviously depends on if they evolve the Eevee next turn. But that Stretch Kick targeting down that Eevee is going to be nice. Attach for turn onto the Squirtle. We're going to see a Water Gun probably come down here onto our Hitmonlee. There's the second Curlia. Maybe I should have just benched both Ralts to begin with, but that's alright. We're going to Stretch Kick into the Eevee. See what our opponent has in hand. There's a Pokeball, going to find them another basic. I would imagine they've got maybe some Palkias in here as well. Maybe not, though. Pokemon Communication. Probably searching for that Wartortle or that Vaporeon. They could be evolving into Glaceon, I guess, as well. That could be what they have in here, but I imagine that it is probably the Vaporeon, and there is the Vaporeon. Do they have the Wartortle as well? They do. All right, so they're setting up pretty well. We need to find our Gallade here pretty quickly. I'm going to hold on to that Pokecom. The reason being, we don't need the Gallade this turn. We need it next turn. We could draw into another Pokemon that we wouldn't find with the Pokemon communication. So I think we just have to stretch kick one more time here. Drawing into a researcher would be nice. Researching before using the Pokecom would also be very, very strong. But we definitely just have to find Gallade next turn. We have okay odds. We've played double Pokeball already, so no way to get more basics out of the deck. Here comes the Blastoise. It is not the Blastoise EX, though. But it is still pretty strong, doing 80 damage. Going to do 60 more if it ends up with 2 more energies on it. However, and we can't knock him out. We don't get to OHKO the Blastoise, even if we find our Gallade, which is unfortunate. There's an X speed. We just kind of are forced into Pokecomming and praying here. We do find the Gallade. That was very lucky. Alright, so we can do 130 into the Blastoise, or we can knock out the Vaporeon. Okay, I think we just hit into the Blastoise, and we save the Cyrus for later, like if they try to get out of the Blastoise into something else. They can't OHKO us even if they do get those 2 extra energies on to the Blastoise with like a Misty, so I think we're all right. There's another Eevee coming down. Attach return onto the Eevee. Could be a Glaceon angle at this point. They could be playing both Vaporeon and Glaceon in the deck. Hydro Pump going to do 80 to us here, though. There's Sudowoodo. That's kind of nice to have. We're going to attach to the Ralts here. I suppose we could have retreated out into the Sudowoodo, but this is fine. It's just if they do have like Misty Glaceon, I believe the Glaceon does 90. So we'll knock out our Gallade, and that would be unfortunate. Touch return onto the Vaporeon. Just the continuous steps on the Eevee. And this should be game for us unless they flip 9 heads. Which they very well could, but they don't. So, this will basically be game for us. And there's the concession. All right, I was going to say, we attach the Sudowoodo there, then Sabrina up the Vaporeon. Gets rid of an energy in play, gets rid of one of their stronger Pokemon, obviously. So, 3-0 with the Gallade deck. I think this is a very strong deck right now. I know that a lot of the other fighting decks have been leaning towards the Rampardos, and that's good too. I think one of the issues with fossils is finding those basics, because the fossils can't be searched with the Pokeball. But I think this Gallade deck is very good. Give it a try for yourself. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.